worship what you worship, nor do you worship what I worship. I shall never worship what you worship, nor will you ever worship what I worship. You have your own religion. You have your own religion. You have your own religion. You have, and I have mine.
Okay, hi, and welcome to episode 3. For a moment, I'm just gonna chill because that's really what it's about. It's about having enough time, which is the only actual wealth that a human being has once they're born into this world, to take a breath, the breath of the Holy Spirit, which is what? The breath of life. To just chill and gaze to the left and gaze to the right. Look at what's above your head and what's below your feet and onto every other side to which you are exposed as a human being. And see what a wonder it is to be in this creation, to be blessed to be alive in this day and age. And that's how I would really like to be. But we're in the world, and so everything's got to happen really fast because it's the time of the end and time is running out and everybody's busy running, doing whatever they're doing whatever they're doing and trying to make ends meet and trying to figure out whatever. So that was as much chilling, although I may chill some more because that's the great thing about YouTube. So hey, I was going to say, first of all, thoughts and feelings of compassion and humanity for the people in Turkey who've just had a horrible 7.2 earthquake. Thank you, Anonymous, for pointing that out on Occupy YouTube. You might want to check that out. The D-Day is 11/11, Occupy YouTube. Great little channel with some very informative little videos. But my kids, I got kids, don't kid yourself, I got kids. And 7 and 11 for what's that worth at the time of this episode, and so they spend a lot of time on YouTube. Me, I'm an old codger, if you will. I've already tipped the scales. I should be done. I'm worm food. If Nietzsche would have had his way, I'd be done, I'd be gone. So I don't empathize with the older folks because the older folks in relation to me left me a bunch of garbage and a mess to deal with, and I'm hoping that I in turn don't do that for my kids. So anyway, so the point is, with the kids, what can I do? Instead of TV, like I grew up with, which is the evil one, it's an anagram for it's evil one. In case you want to find an evil one, that's another good enemy besides the corporations. But by the way, you should have seen episode 1 and 2 before watching this, or this will sound like a madman lunatic raving. Okay, well, alright, so it wouldn't be that far off the mark, whatever. But at least episode 1 and 2 totally sounds like a madman lunatic raving. The Great Terror. But for now I want to chill. But so the thing is, so as far as my kids, they watch on YouTube things like Niga Higa. I'll put links on the bottom of the videos. I'm finally learning how to do this a little bit. So in the previous videos I'll put links to the things I mentioned, you know, just so someone can access them if they want. The only thing that's kind of mandatory, if you want to get something out of spending your time listening to me, you know, do whatever I'm doing, you want to watch episodes 1 and 2. I believe then this will make a lot more sense. You don't have to do what I suggest you do in episodes 1 and 2 in order to occupy God and download God 2.0. It's just so long as you know. It's all about the options. That's the great thing about being a human being, a creation, someone created in the image and likeness of G, is that you have this choice always. You always have the choice. And a lot of people capitalize on that and create, you know, sales pitches for everything from new age religion stuff to how you invest or buy a house or sales especially. And they use the truly singular spiritual function of free will, which is what you and I have, what you have, and And the thing is, they use it in a million ways, but there's only one function to the free will. There's only one function. And this isn't a doctrine, this is just me letting you know how it is. Because in this day, all the answers are out and available. It's just it's under a flood of information and colors and sounds and all that stuff. So the choice you always have, and it's only one choice, is quote unquote God or not God. If God, which is what I explained in episode 1 and 2, then it's all there. Welcome to the kingdom. However, if not God, if you choose the illusion, the trappings, the whatever, then you're confronted with a million illusory choices like Coke or Pepsi, McDonald's or Burger King, whatever. A million choices that lead nowhere and are just pointless, but you feel like you're exercising your choice. So you have a choice to stay or a choice to go, and I hope you make a choice to stay. Anyway, so that being said, so my kids watch a lot of YouTube, and so they watch things like Niga Higa, and I wrote some of them down because they spend hours watching like Minecraft videos. Do you guys know about Minecraft videos? If you're the older generation, you got no idea, but if you're the younger generation, you probably know. Parodies from Lady Gaga and it's great. Lady Gaga is such an icon for this age. Like I could have anything on Lady Gaga and Madonna. Hello? Or Gene Simmons from Kiss. I mean, he's the Beast, right? That was his name. And I watched him in Madison Square Garden growing up, and it's awesome. Awesome. Kiss rocks. The Kiss Army. Anyway, but that was another generation. So for my kids, they get Annoying Orange and AFSD and things like that. I personally use the YouTube to see things like Zeitgeist. In case you haven't checked out Zeitgeist, if you're more of a serious person and want, have a serious orientation, Zeitgeist is awesome. I would watch Moving Forward first. I'll put a link to the Zeitgeist movies, and you can see the first Zeitgeist was great. That was Peter Joseph's first little doohickey, and it was an art thing. It was his opinion, and good for him. Good for him. It's great. I'll buy it. Okay. So anyway, just wanted to give that shout out to YouTubers and Dr. Octagonopus, and Charlie the Unicorn. Not Charlie, I bit my finger. Charlie, you bit my finger. Charlie, you bit my finger. I'm talking about the other dudes that do the Charlie, oh Charlie. Funny stuff. Great stuff. Anyway, so a couple of things I just want to talk on that were like current events here for a second. The Occupy thing. So this is Occupy God, okay? So, you're taking advantage of the Occupy meme. But I got involved in Occupy Tucson, okay, just to give you a locality, and watched the Occupy Wall Street thing, and I want to say, okay, I don't want to work for the forces of repression and blah, 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 but I want to give a shout out to anyone that's been in Melbourne, Rome, or, do you see the Melbourne footage where the cops just came and whacked everybody? How jacked up is that? We'll explain sometime about the nature of uniforms, how the uniform, when you're in a uniform, if you're a uniform person, when you're in a uniform, you are totally possessed by the abstract corporation. The corporation is the evil thing, the enemy. It's a disembodied thing, and it's part of the latter day. It has its function. It is the enemy in this late day to unite all the human individuals of the world against the common enemy, as opposed to what the movies show, like some alien coming from space. Dudes, there's going to be no aliens coming from space. The alien is here. It's called the corporation. And the nice thing about them is once we destroy them and blow them up, etc., fact of the matter is there's nothing to destroy. There's nothing to blow up. It's like the emperor's new clothes. Open your eyes. They don't exist. But for the time that we give them power with our lost, fantastic, free will co-opted thoughts and minds, and buy into the whole chimera of money and cash and blah blah blah, which was all useful. I mean, it all got you to where we are now. I mean, I couldn't be doing this if it wasn't for them. So thank you, those of you who operated within the construct of corporations and gave up your lives and then lost your 401ks and got jacked up by Bernie Madoff or Enron, and feel like fools because you've lost 3, 4, 5 houses in a foreclosure market where they sold subprime things and you got jacked up. Hopefully now you get it. It's not that they were whatever. Well, let's not be nice to them. Corporations are the enemy. So anyway, so the thing is, in order for them to do what they do, how they do, they have to use violence. You can read Alvin Toffler's Trinity trilogy, which is, Future Shock, and then Power Shift, and the Third Wave. And there's a function to violence. Violence gets sanctioned and used, and that's the idea of our civilized society. We have authorized users of violence. If any of us use violence, we get in trouble. And that's kind of cool. It's nice to have an option. There's countries just right across the border from Tucson where the use of violence is just out of control. There's no decent controllers of violence. So, man, that has a function. But now at this point in time, in this country, during the Occupy movement, you Occupy dudes are my heroes. The fact that you're out there in the physical world, the brick and mortar world. It started off virtual though, as all your local spaces got co-opted and bought and manipulated and given ordinances. You should read Naomi Wolf, okay, to understand how that happens and how it exactly resembles pre-fascist Germany, where they had a lot of good things going on, decent, smart people, but little by little something happened and all of a sudden, blah. Whatever your opinion on that blah is. So same thing is happening here. The difference is that it's not going to succeed. And for those of you who are in the Occupy thing, man, if it was me, I'd be like, dudes, you've already won. Let's do this. Don't stress your bodies out. Don't make yourselves totally be broken in pursuit of this rah-rah ideal. Don't invest the revolution with your depletion. Instead, pick a day, like Anonymous. If anyone from Anonymous is watching, you bother watching, but whatever, if because you guys are really brilliant, man. I mean, thumbs up to you. May the good Lord bless you, whether or not you believe in him. But it's like, pick a day before people are frozen in Chicago, or and have it end like clockwork, synchronized, if people want, and then brush each other off. If you guys in Occupy Wall Street got all that money donated, why don't you guys do a general assembly and decide to save it for a second, and then let the fallout happen. And if there's good intent and motivation, there'll be participants who can go ahead and pick themselves up by their bootstraps and carry on, and there'll be some that are a little bit broken. And if you had a fund to help those that came for the revolution and just joined in on the emotional meme, and then they look around, they go, oh geez, I've been evicted from my apartment and my boss has fired me. Maybe there's a little slush fund, and then plan on when the weather gets good, because we're human beings, we have flesh, you know what I'm saying? Corporations don't, so they can wait out any revolution. But when spring comes, using the same techniques, being in touch, using those contacts you made among all different people, be ready. And when the spring comes, let's blow it out and have it be the ultimate global love revolution. That's what I would do, but I just can barely pay my rent, so I'm not the right person to talk about it. But I just wanted to share that. So in my opinion, the Occupy movement has already won. The next phase of the collapse of illusory structures is at hand. So, warning to you folks that are either invested in, let's pick a corporation.